Howdy, I'm Jason Moats, the 2016 Conference Program Chair, and I want to thank you for volunteering to be a session host for the International Research Conference in the Americas. Your contribution to the Academy of Human Resource Development is extremely important, and this conference would not be possible without you. So, as we go through this video today, a few things that I want to cover are going to be what we expect of you as a session host, and also what we have told the presenters that we expect from them. But before we get to that, I'd like to spend just a couple minutes talking about how the symposia were put together. The sessions that you're hosting are made up of the refereed submissions that came into the Academy back in September. Those refereed submissions went through a double-blind review process. They are either full manuscripts or 2,000-word abstracts. A symposium is constructed of either 4 or 5 full manuscripts or 6 abstracts. The reason that we did this was to give the folks who have a little bit more to talk about with the full manuscripts just a little bit more time. The intent was that we would only have 4 full manuscripts in a symposium. However, due to time constraints and space constraints, because this conference is one of the larger conferences that we've ever had, we had to take and add, in the case of 4 or 5 symposia, we had to add an extra full manuscript. So it's your job to help work through and plan out the time for the symposium. The other thing that we did was when we pieced together these different symposia, we looked at the keywords as well as the tracks that were initially assigned by the authors and advice from the track chairs. And we tried to link the submissions in each symposium together so that they made some sort of sense, either by linking by content or linking by the flow of the symposium. So, as you see that, in many cases the linkages will be very, very clear. In others, you may have to work a little bit to understand the logic behind it. But just understand that there was some logic behind it. And if you have questions, feel free to contact me. The other thing that this does is it sets it up so that it's very difficult to take and help accommodate people who need to move their time around. If we need to move a symposium around, we will move the whole symposium so that the integrity of the symposium and the content that's within it stay together. If someone comes to you and requests to move their presentation into your symposium, please refer them to the registration desk or to me personally. Each of the rooms that you'll be working in will come equipped with a audio-video projector and that will support PowerPoint or presentation and a screen to project that on. However, there will not be a computer. Therefore, you must communicate with your presenters and ask them to bring a computer, or you may use your own, for each of the presentations. This is very important and requires that you work with your authors ahead of time. Please come prepared with a laptop or make arrangements with the presenters in your session for this to happen. Your role as the session host is to organize, again, who will bring the laptop, and to keep track of time to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to present the work that they have done so much on, and also to make sure people have an opportunity to ask each author questions. So, we encourage you to do these following steps in order to be prepared and be the best session host that your presenters could need. First, read each paper that's included in your session. Second, email each of the authors who will be presenting at your session. Introduce yourself and start the process of identifying who's going to bring the computer and to lay out an order. Doing this ahead of time prior to the conference is always best. However, we realize that sometimes that can't be done. Please note and this is extraordinarily important, please note that the question and answer segments should be scheduled after each presentation and will not be held up to the end. This gives authors the opportunity to respond to questions and people in the audience to respond to questions. In some cases, although rare, authors may have to present at your session and then go to another session to present. If you've been at the conference at any time, any previous time, you know that quite often this happens. We've taken measures to try to prevent this, but again, sometimes people don't show and people present papers and, well, things happen. In your email to your authors, please ask them to distribute email to any co-authors so that everybody is in the loop. Also, ask your authors to arrive in the room 10 minutes before their scheduled session. Again, it is important that the laptop that's going to be used to present be identified early. Review each manuscript as if you were an editor. Help the author and talk to the author about strengthening their position and if there's anything that can be done to strengthen the paper for future publication. Once you have an idea of how many papers are in your session and this has been decided, you may want to give the presenter a time check when they have 2 minutes, and I would also recommend about 30 seconds remaining. At the conference, we encourage you to arrive in your registration in your room 10 minutes before the session is scheduled to start. If you have any issues with the AV system, please contact the registration desk and they will send somebody to assist. Ensure that all the presentations are uploaded to the laptop. For you, you need to ensure that the session starts on time and ends on time. It is important that all authors get equal amounts of time, as needed, for their sessions. Facilitate the question and answer session at the end of each presentation, and if a lull occurs in the conversation, please fill in with ideas, suggestions, or questions that you've prepared in advance. Again, thank you for your service to the Academy. Thank you for your service to this conference. I would also encourage you, as a footnote, to please take some time and review the presenter guidelines so that you're clear on what we've asked the presenters to do. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact the registration desk, or before the conference, you can always email me at jbmoats, that's jbmoats, at tamu.edu. Again, thanks, and I look forward to seeing you at the conference.